good morning. Welcome. This is GH1 TV and this is GHToday News. My name is Sewa Amihe. Let's begin with our top stories. Shortage of catheter at Kolebu hampering regular dialysis. We will tell you more about this in this bulletin. Also, the Ghana Integrity Initiative wants soon to be confirmed Special Prosecutor Martin Amidu to investigate bust scandal. And later on the international front, President Jacob Zuma finally resigns amidst corruption scandals and party pressure to quit. We have details of these stories and many more. Please stay with us. Welcome to the program. Don't forget we are live on DSTV channel 361 and GoTV 179. Now, kidney patients at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital are unable to have their regular dialysis due to shortage of dialysis catheter. The situation has persisted for about a week now, leaving most of the patients stranded with worsening conditions.
Kidney failure occurs when one's kidney loses the ability to filter waste from the blood, sufficiently causing the accumulation of toxins in one's body, a condition that may lead to death if not remedied.
Dialysis in the dialysis, I won't mean that won't mean that. And no problem. Yes, Rabbi, some boy, no license member on GHToday.
The renal dialysis unit of the Kolebu Teaching Hospital, which provides dialysis treatment for persons suffering from this condition, has for about a week now turned away patients due to a shortage of dialysis catheter, the tube used for exchanging blood to and from a hemodialysis machine and a patient. Patients at the treatment center are, however, stranded and are calling on authorities to come to their aid.
Nti omo de ne beto dialysis nti eba Friday no omo ade ne to so na Monday so mo Sunday ne ekoto so
see yes lines are omo de connect yes dialysis no yes yasa nti de
and dan eba no omo ka so omo nyama ayira so no omo ka se embedui nti so omo anya bidia na mentumi nchire.
Affects me more because she says me generation. One can say I'm saying to papa. Affecting me because on last week so moody lunch express
Efforts by the news crew to speak with authorities at the hospital, however, proved futile.
A parliamentary joint committee of subsidiary legislation and constitutional, legal and parliamentary affairs on Wednesday held a meeting with the executives of the General Legal Council and leadership of the Law Students Association. The meeting follows a petition by the students for withdrawal of a legislative instrument seeking to regulate admissions into the law school.
The council presented the LI to Parliament after the Supreme Court held the decision to regulate admissions through exams and interviews. The court consequently ordered the Ghana Legal Council to put in place a legal regime backing the decision. The students, however, through their lawyer Kofi Bentel, are challenging the LI. Chairman for the two committees, Mahama Ayariga and Ben Abdallah, both told the fielding parties the committee was to hear their arguments and consider them on merit, given the fact that an initial demand for scrapping of the interview requirement from the students has already been met.
If you conduct exams and you have 600 slots and then the mark is 50 and only 300 or 400 pass, those are the numbers that should come to the law school. The message you will send out to every other person intending to go to law school is that you have to work very hard in order to meet the 50 mark. But when you lower the standards, then you now bring in interview. Now look at the troubles that all of us have before us.
Petition was referred to us to discuss, though we've met many times without number with the students and the General Legal Council to discuss the same petition before the regulations were laid in Parliament. I believe that after the laying of the regulations, the students again petitioned the Speaker, and pursuant to that, the Speaker referred the petition to us.
Kofi Bentel argued what the General Legal Council is seeking to do is unconstitutional. He argued students must be given direct access to the law school without any examination requirements.
The entrance examination discriminated and did not give equal opportunity to persons who had qualified by law to do the professional law examination. And since that was also not known by law, that constituted a breach. Nobody has a constitutional right to professional legal education, but we all have a constitutional right to equal access and opportunity, and the Constitution guarantees that we all have to have equal facilities.
But the General Legal Council disagreed, arguing the new LI is in compliance with the Supreme Court decision. Other members of the committee also disagreed with the position of the council.
We went to the law school straight away, no examination were conducted. Does it mean that we were better than these students that are waiting to go to the law school? To me, we cannot assess that. But if examinations that come and the quota is there that they have to take 600, a means must be taken. If one should say that they just have to insist on the fact that you have to get a pass month before you get in, what about the years when we were getting a direct entry into the law?
The Ghana National Fire Service has described the incident that claimed 2 lives at a sports betting station in Hacho as gross negligence. It was reported on Tuesday, February 13, that 2 persons died in a poorly ventilated room after using a power generating set in an enclosed room. GH1 News' Joshua Nanakwame has more in the following report.
The end of the day's activity requires a sound rest for another day. But a sound rest for the day unfortunately became the last rest for the 2 identified only as Ali Dubaku, 19, otherwise known as Agogo, and his friend Kwesi Victor, believed to be 27 years, suffocated by the fugitive fumes from the power generating set while in their sleep. The DO1 of the Ghana National Fire Service, James Ohineba Yaukwatin, described the rather unfortunate horrific incident as gross negligence on the part of the 2. He added that the non-compliance of safety rules by most Ghanaians has become one too many, which oftentimes does not cause chaos.
There's also the issue of a little bit of ignorance, because if they knew the kind of fumes that the generator produces, carbon monoxide, a very poisonous gas, I think they become increasingly aware of how dangerous it is. I think more people will want to avoid any such a situation.
When GH1 News visited the Hacho Yam Market, a resident of Ali Dubaku, it was observed that nothing but a pang of pain and sorrow had engulfed the home due to the demise of their beloved son. Emmanuel Ukpan, 67, the chairman of the Hacho Yam Market inhabited by the Basari and also a direct relative of the deceased, divulged the news team what he saw at the Eurobet Center when the distress call reached him.
The nature say generator, no more source then, no more to rest nina. And this smoke now, almost mino, nekumom. Omu be a gate no, Emma Rom Crochet, but Medici Baco count, and the Cratcher Brand Tobacco also count.
The death of the young man had crossed borders to reach the rest of the family in Tatale in the Sanguli district at the northern region. They arrived at 4 a.m. this morning after a 2 days journey to Accra. Abraham Chimake, the uncle of the deceased, indicated that the family had agreed to bury Alidu Baako here in Accra on Thursday, February 15, but the remaining funeral rites will be conducted in that village.
Nefa a yin brafi near the near a yin a crum home. And tis anna I in Pennyfire dear. Or more dear Sume say, Yambaba Honosa or Penny. Watching I ever seen. Yami parking ever seen.
All attempts to locate the resident and the family of Alidu's friend who died with him was unsuccessful, as none of the relatives and friends of Alidu could give an affirmative response to his residence. The deceased was considered by all and sundry as an affable individual with an admirable charisma, a friend who accommodated him when Alidu came to Accra about a year ago.
Agogo is someone who respects a lot, and everybody can testify in this market. He's not a rascal. He's an indoor type. He doesn't like talking. He's a shy type. So for you to see him talking is very difficult.
Preliminary investigation by the Kwabenya police station suggested the Honda 6500 power generator was on after power was cut. Initial records in related cases suggest that February 2015, a man and woman were found dead in a single room at Begbeise in Dansoman, in which they had used a power generator set. Later in March 2015, a man and his 2 children died from allegedly inhaling fumes from a generator set kept in their room overnight. If these records are anything to go by, then it could be said that safety measures are grossly defied by the majority. James Ohineba Yakwatin says the fire service will continue to sensitize the public on how to be more compliant to safety rules.
Now, the Akuapem North Municipal Assembly has adopted measures to tackle challenges in 4 critical areas of development: water, education, sanitation, and revenue mobilization. The Assembly has resolved to properly manage its waste and end open defecation.
The resolution was made at a roundtable meeting to discuss ways to improve lives of residents in the Akuapem North Municipal Assembly. The meeting resolved to extend water services to all electoral areas through the use of polytanks and dugout wells. It was also agreed that 19 schools in dilapidated state in the municipality must be provided new infrastructure. On sanitation, the Assembly has resolved to ban open defecation and indiscriminate dumping of other forms of waste. Though the Assembly has spent about 3 million cedis on sanitation issues, it remains a challenge. For instance, 5,641 diarrheal cases were recorded in 2017, though that is a reduction from 17,417 cases recorded in 2013. The municipal engineer, Daniel Ohiniedu, has been speaking to GH1 News.
Someone littering or defecating in the open after we've provided all the facilities, then it's our responsibility to report to the appropriate parties. But mind you, the diseases that can affect all of us, you understand? So if you are clean and your neighbor is dirty, it's definitely a question for a citizen. Yes, to report. To report directly to the office. We provided our client service number at this presentation. We are saying that if you see something like that, call the office, bring the evidence.
In fulfillment of these commitments, the Akuapem North Municipal Assembly also resolved to sustain and improve upon gains made in revenue mobilization. The municipal chief executive for the area, Dennis Abuaje, believes with strong support and commitment by stakeholders, all resolutions can be achieved. The 2 members of parliament in the assembly, Dan Kwekubotwe and Nana Ama Dokua, both MPs for Okere and Ikropong constituencies respectively, spoke to GH1 News.
There's a lot to lose from this, and I still want to believe that will collaborate in these things. And like I said, we want to learn from best practices. We will continue to meet and discuss. This is so that meeting at the local area.
The Ikapu North municipality placed 158 in the 2017 BEC Metropolitan Municipal and District ranking out of the 216 MMTs. This is very worrisome. Development and all hands must be on deck to champion the educational agenda tabled before us.
All 2018 Basic Education Certificate Examination candidates in the Sojaman constituency of the Eastern Region will be served one hot meal daily throughout the examination period. A total of 1,765 candidates are expected to write this year's exams in the district. It is reported that many candidates often write the exams on empty stomachs for varied reasons.
Performances of Basic Education Certificate Examination candidates in the Sojaman district over the years have not been encouraging. For instance, in the 2015-2016 academic year, out of the 1,583 candidates that sat for the exams, 863 passed mathematics, while 123 passed English. Also, 994 out of the total candidates number passed science. Therefore, the Member of Parliament for Sojaman, Thomas Ampemnyako, as part of efforts to improve performance of BEC candidates in the district, will provide free lunch for all 1,765 BEC candidates this year.
Parents shouldn't worry about what the children will eat whilst writing the exams. Your Member of Parliament will ensure that they are given lunch, one hot meal each of the days that they will be writing their exams. So I'll be working closely with the Education Directorate and parents in the whole district. Every child, I understand there are about 1,700. So we'll feed them at all the centers where they will be writing the exams.
The MP made this known at the commissioning of a 4-unit KG classroom block with office, storeroom and a toilet for the EPKG school at South Senchi in the Sojaman district. The project was jointly funded by the MP for Sojaman, Thomas Ampemnyako, and Pencils of Promise, a non-governmental international organization. The project is expected to increase enrollment at the early childhood education.
Melecom Ghana Limited, also known as MTN, has organized a blood donation exercise to mark their annual Valentine's blood donation exercise, which was under the theme Save a Life, in a quest to restock the National Blood Bank.
According to the Corporate Communications Senior Manager of MTN, Gina Asarifiagbenu, the exercise has been impactful so far. They hope successive years will draw in more donors.
We think that it's a better way of showing love to our customers, and so we actually started this as a staff volunteering initiative. We got our staff to come out on Valentine's Day to come and donate blood to show their love to our customers. And then when we started year 1, year 2, we had some of our suppliers and partners who wanted to be part of it. So over time, it became a national exercise. I think the most important reason is that you are a lifesaver.
Some donors shared their experiences.
Sometimes one of my uncles was in trouble. He needed blood, and it took a whole lot to get blood. By the time the blood came, it was already gone. And that's why that's also motivated me to also provide.
I have received blood before, and in the last 4 years. By the time I come for save a life donation, usually my HB is not up to the minimum or maximum level, so I don't qualify. But this year, luckily, my HB is okay, so I decided to donate.
The MTN Foundation seeks to brighten all corners of communities across the country with this exercise annually by replenishing the critically low stock of the National Blood Bank.
Let's take a break. When we come back, we have business, we have international, and E-Zone. Welcome back. This is GH1 Television. At his vetting, Special Prosecutor Nominee Martin Amidu made clear his intention to reduce graft, but also to retrieve stolen government money. Even before he begins his work, questions around which issues he will pursue are rife. Anti-graft body Ghana Integrity Initiative wants the Special Prosecutor to include the investigation of bust as part of his top agenda. The Bulk Oil Storage and Transportation Company Limited bust was in 2017 entangled in allegations of fraudulently selling 5 million litres of contaminated fuel to two unlicensed companies, Movipina and Zuma Oil, causing the country to lose about 7 million cedis in revenue. The NPA, after complaining that it had not licensed the two firms, threatened to take legal action against the two companies. Executive Director of GII, Linda Ofori-Kwafu, says the case was investigated, or wants the case to be investigated by the Office of the Special Prosecutor.
Normally, because we are not an organization with investigative powers, we forward the cases to Shraj. We send them to Yoko. We send matters out to the police for them to investigate, for us to get some form of resolution for the complainant. So if the law allows us to send cases to Honorable Martin Amidu and his office, if he's finally appointed, then we will do so. Ghanaians know the cases that have not been well dealt with. I heard the president talking about a couple of them that says that they have been sorted during the SONA. And I was surprised to hear he said bust had been sorted. I don't know. I don't know the outcome of bust. That makes it, maybe I have not really learned anything about it, but I think bust has not been dealt with.
We are looking at him constituting his people to work with at their office. From where you say it, what kind of people should he really look out for?
Those people who are fortunate to be appointed by the president to work with the SP, we wish them well. It is in their own interest to know the kind of person they are going to work with and then work with him appropriately. We expect so much from them as well, because fighting corruption is a teamwork, and we cannot leave Honorable Martin Amidu, if appointed, to do it all by himself.
Inflation rate for January 2018 dropped by 1.5% from the 11.8% recorded in December last year to 10.3%. Acting government statistician Dr. Bawadie attributed the decrease to a base drift effect associated with the fall in prices of major food and non-food items, especially those produced locally.
There were reductions in the inflation rates in areas such as food and non-food inflation, health inflation rate and transport.
And the main drivers for the non-food inflation rate were transport, a rate of 17.9%, clothing and footwear 16.7%, recreation and culture 13.7%, miscellaneous goods and services 12.7%, and furnishing, household equipment and routine maintenance 12.1%. The price drivers for the food inflation rate were fruits 9.2%, vegetables 8.4%, coffee, tea and cocoa 8.2%, and meat products 7.3%.
The food and non-alcoholic beverages group recorded a year-on-year inflation rate of 6.8%. This is 1.2 percentage points lower than the rate recorded in December.
Let's do some international stories. South Africa's embattled President Jacob Zuma has resigned with immediate effect. He made the announcement in a televised address to the nation on Wednesday evening. Earlier, Mr. Zuma's governing ANC party told him to resign or face a vote of no confidence in Parliament on Thursday. The ANC had told him to step down or face a vote of no confidence. The 75-year-old has been facing calls to give way to Deputy President Cyril Ramaphosa, the ANC new leader. Mr. Zuma, who has been in power since 2009, faces numerous allegations of corruption. Earlier on Wednesday, police swooped on the Johannesburg home of the powerful and wealthy Gupta family, with whom Mr. Zuma has close ties. He began his speech by laughing and joking with members of the press, asking them why they looked so serious. Mr. Zuma said the violence and division within the ANC had influenced his decision to step down. Let's take a listen to what he said.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Why do you look serious? You can't even say good evening. Oh, what's happening? Huh? You are tired. Why? We are working, aren't we? I've also been disturbed by the instances of violence that have occurred because of the different views among members of our organization outside our headquarters, Luthuli House. No life should be lost in my name, and also the ANC should never be divided in my name. I have therefore come to the decision to resign as President of the Republic with immediate effect. Even though I disagree with the decision of the leadership of my organization, I have always been a disciplined member of the ANC. As I leave, I will continue to serve the people of South Africa as well as the ANC, the organization I've served all of my life in it.
Well, interesting one right there. I believe that was Jacob Zuma's Valentine's present to the people of South Africa. Let's show you what the weather will look like in the next 24 hours before we go. And that's it for GHToday News. My name is Sewa Amiye. Thank you very much for watching. The news team is back at 11:30 with Newsroom with Ridwan Karimdini Osman. But the show continues with Beiswa and Kafuide right after this. Have a good morning.